Welcome over to the CrossFire podcast Friday night. I thought I'd let the audience kind of shuffle in. It's one of those Fridays. A lot of people, weather's changing. It's becoming spring up here in New York. People are going out for dinner. People got a lot of games to play, but there's a lot to talk about, folks. There's a lot to talk about. Mooch is even a little tired, but the show must go on. And that's the way things are, folks. That's the motto we live by here. That being said, let me go down this incredibly talented, short but talented panel I have here. The one, the only, a Crap Gamer. Crap, how you doing tonight?
Tired.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. Believe
I'm
me.
exhausted, man. It's it's not even really the end of the week. I work all weekend, so
True.
just here, going to kick out some of this news. Should be a good show because there is some stuff to talk about. Very interested in hearing what everybody else thinks about all this news that came out this week, and also the chat and stuff like that. So it should be a good show. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And a few people in the chat are saying echo. I just checked it out. I'm not hearing an echo, but I am yelling. What's up to the Matrix Gamer and a bunch of you guys out there? Thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Let people know we're here. Next, we've got Singular Bombastic. Boom. Boom. You have literally just finished up another show just to be here tonight, sir. How the hell are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Had a fantastic breakfast with Boom. Went over to GameStop. Got my collector's edition of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Outstanding.
Gonna do an unboxing of that on Monday.
Yes,
dude. I'm. You know what? I'm hoping from what I've seen, it looks like it plays like Neo, and if it does, I'm all in. Ankles, neck, everything deep because I love Neo, and this just has that arm being able to grapple to so many different things really just changes. The stagnant on the ground gameplay that the Souls series are known for.
Exactly.
You can sneak up on people, you can assassinate them, you have the height leverage and the advantage. Dude, there are already people talking game of the year.
Listen, I'm drooling for this game, but as we've said in the pre-show, and we're going to get into Sekiro, we are definitely getting into it. I need to give that game my undivided attention, and I can't do that after a long work week. I'm going to start that game bright and early on the twitch.tv. Shameless plug for myself, the Mooch78. I'm going to be streaming that game all weekend. I can't wait for it. But next, I got Xbot448, who will probably be the farthest person away from Sekiro all weekend long. Xbot, how the hell are you doing tonight?
What is going on, everybody? What is up, chat? Another Crossfire starting off your gaming weekend, and I am here to break the posture out of these topics. Since we're talking Sekiro, I figure I got to do a little reference there, right? Right, guys?
You do.
You know about breaking the posture, right? That's what you got to do in the game.
Xbot makes up new slogans every week, but I love it.
It's actually in the game, brother.
Oh, is it really? Well, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and plead the fifth on that one because I have not started it yet. So I'm okay. And then I've got, last but certainly not least, Noximus Knox. Very opinionated last week, buddy. A lot of people really want to hear what you got to say about this week's topics. How the hell are you doing tonight?
Oh, man, I'm chilling, man. Just got up, got the call, got the bat signal from the Mooch. And was like, let's get it.
That was awesome. He's like, sorry, I spoke up, but I'm ready to go. And let me tell you something, Knox. I'm going to start off while the people in the chat kind of shuffle in here a little bit. Before we get to like the big stuff, I kind of wanted to bring something up. A lot of people kind of touch on it as the last subject, Crackdown 3 sales. And I don't want to talk about just Crackdown 3 sales. I want to talk about what is going on here with the tale of two stories with Game Pass. And I'll start with Crap. Crap, a lot of people said, a lot of people being Microsoft, so that Game Pass is only helping their first-party studios, and that was relevant when we saw sales of State of Decay 2 coming in first place and Sea of Thieves coming, I believe, in second place in their respective months of release. What happened with Crackdown 3 where it didn't even hit the top 20? Is it the game, or why couldn't Game Pass bring this thing up to the top?
I've heard that Game Pass did well, like there was a lot of subscriptions and things like that. But the bottom line is that game is just too tainted for people to want to spend $60 on, and I don't blame them. It's a fun game,
Agreed.
But it's not a great game, or I wouldn't even say even a good game in my opinion. But it is fun, and they are offering you a lot of value with Game Pass. So why not try it? The good news is you only get those trials one time. And then they did the select time where you could do it again. But other than that, these people are paying their month, so they get to try it out. Maybe they like it. Maybe they want to keep it. Who really knows? But I think that it probably did pretty well for them. But I think it was crazy for anybody to expect this game to make a dent in the NPD. There's just not enough in people there. It was always a 1 to 3 or 4 million person sector that liked this game for the game itself, and so that's probably where we're at. I mean, I saw a lot of people playing it. It just means that a lot of people on my friends list are Game Pass subscribers. So,
well,
I bought it.
Let me ask you guys this, and crap, that's your dedication is unmatched. But let me tell you something right now. We've seen from Xbox time and time again, and I said this months ago, and I'm not one of those guys on podcasts that's like, remember I said this? But I got to bring it up because I haven't heard any, and I listen to a lot of shows. No one else has kind of brought this up. I said, what is going to happen with Game Pass? And you do have a number. Maybe someone has something to report, and if they do, I'm all ears. But realistically, I have not heard anything from Microsoft lately on the success of Game Pass. And this is right. And no, that's not true, Xbox, because we certainly heard how great Game Pass was.
They'll say from time to time how great it is, but you got to remember, they launched this whole thing. You look at what's coming around the corner.
Yes.
And how much they're supposedly going to go in.
Do you think that Game Pass has plateaued?
No,
not at all. Wait until Gears drops, man.
Well, now there you go. Now that's not what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about the months in between a first-party release.
I think it plateaued.
And then, Knox, let me explain, and I'm going to go right to you, Knox, because I want to hear your opinion on it, because no one else seems to agree with me on this.
Knox has got really good opinions, and why am I just hearing this guy?
Right?
The last couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, well, that's what it is. I got to tell you something. Here's my point.
Watch next,
I
do when I can.
I think the point of the matter here is that Xbox toots their horn on Game Pass whenever a first-party title comes out, right? Because there's a spike. Where I think it's plateaued is everybody either has it, then they drop it, then there's a spike again when everybody wants a new game release that comes out. Now, hear me out. People they call it the Netflix of gaming. Me in between Stranger Things or Umbrella Academy now or these other shows that you like, I don't get rid of Netflix in between. I keep it all year even when I don't use it. I think what happens is you see these spikes in Game Pass. I think the hardcore know about Game Pass. I don't think the casual market knows about Game Pass like they should. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. I think
they're going to hear about it this holiday.
But Xbox, that's another spike because of Gears. I get that. They're going to do very well for that. But once Gears is beaten and they beat the game, then what happens? Then it drops again. So that delta is the same customer is my point. What do you guys think?
If you look at it, and this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I can see kind of like their ideology here. All right, they're getting through, this basically last year before their new hardware comes out. Now, yes, they're going to promote Game Pass, throughout the holidays, people with bundles. You got the Maverick supposedly coming out.
What a debacle that thing is. Yeah. Jesus.
But here's the deal. All right, you start touting your Anaconda, right? And you start talking about the lineup, the first party launch lineup, and then you let everybody know that you don't have to buy a single one of them.
Right.
They will all be available day and date with Game Pass for $10 a month. And there will be people who do pick up the Xbox that will be on Game Pass, and they'll probably be on Game Pass for a long time.
Let me just pull a number out of thin air, just so we can talk numbers for a second. I want to go to Knox after this. So you started at $1 million, right? And that's at the peak. Let's just say that's the peak after Sea of Thieves or State of Decay. It's more than that. I'm just using a random number, okay? So you have $1 million. Then after people beat it, play the game, it drops to 750,000, 800,000, whatever. Then all of a sudden, a new game comes out first party. It spikes to $1 million, maybe 1.1. A month, maybe 30 days, 35 days. Usually it's in 30-day increments, 30 or 60 days, drops back down to 800,000, right? What I'm saying is that Xbox, but here's the thing, not for what they want. Number one. Number two, here's what I'm saying. If you guys that are all saying Game Pass is growing like weeds, my question is, why isn't Xbox talking about this incredible growth month after month? They only talk about it after a first-party game drops when we have a spike. Do you guys see what I'm saying? There's nothing to right now.
I do see what you're saying, but you again,
no users. I don't hear anything. Boom. Right. Last time I heard about it was State of Decay 2.
Or Forza. You'll probably you'd hear it for
right?
The issue hand is this. Okay, it's very simple. This is a very big ship that Phil took over in 2017, and it was a lot to turn. Okay, he said he everything he said he was going to do, he's doing.
Yeah.
This is why we're hearing now that they want 4 AAA games per year, or one
Right.
per quarter, right? And you
They
you
want
mentioned
that spike
right.
more often than not.
And that's correct. And
Absolutely,
instead
Boom.
of the spike, they want the constant business because
Yes.
what they need. It's not so much what they
But
want.
I don't think they're now. Boom! Can I just interrupt you while you're on
Please,
the stand? I
go
want to
ahead.
interrupt you because you actually just proved my point. I agree with everything you just said. But if I could have the what is it called? What is that person called that types everything up for you? The stenographer.
Oh, the stenographer.
Stenographer. Read back what he said. What Boom just said basically was they are doing these 5 games incrementally throughout the year because they need the spikes, but they are not getting those spikes currently.
No,
Well, I mean, there's a reason for it, right? I mean, obviously, we know what's coming out in 2019, and we know that they had a slow 17. They had it's 18 was not bad.
Right.
It wasn't great, but it was. I would consider it good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, the whole Crackdown 3, I really enjoyed. And a lot of people enjoyed. It's unfortunate of what happened, but what you have to look, what you're going to have to wait for, and I really hate saying this because why should we wait? Everybody wants the stuff right now, right? But we understand as Xbox fans who have been here in this, and you guys have been in this seat a lot longer than I have, so you've been talking about this for a significant amount of time more than me. I'm only doing it now 15, 17, 18 months, not even 2 years yet. So I've been here with you guys, and we've continued the conversation. So what does Microsoft have to do in order to keep the subs? Because for instance,
that's what I wanted to say real quick, right? This is what Microsoft wants you to do is what kind of happened with Netflix, but that just happened where people got it and forgot about it.
Yeah, yes, you're
that's
correct.
But that's never gonna happen with gamers. We not like that. Not with
still
that.
$10 is $10.
Yeah, but you're gonna get it. You're gonna play it and go. You know what? You know what I do? I get Crackdown's coming out, right? Oh, I want to check that out. I pay for Game Pass. Then I immediately go cancel Game Pass so it doesn't recur, so it doesn't do the recurring thing. That's what I do and get it for the 30 days. I'm going to beat the game in 30 days if I like it. If not, I'm just going to leave it alone and not even bother. What Microsoft needs to do is get something on there, like maybe bring Xbox Live Arcade back, something that keeps people wanting to pay that $9.99 to play, maybe like these smaller titles that you could consume more easily, right?
I think they're actually bringing. I think they announced it where they're bringing the Spring of Arcade, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think the arcade, because I'm right there with you. Summer of Arcade was the best part of Microsoft in the 360 days, no doubt about that. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Noximus. You see, what they need to do is, besides the big titles, even if it's considered a AA title in there, in that that 4 slot for the year of 2020, let's just say, they need to sprinkle smaller, single A and AA games in there. And you said it, Mooch. You said it actually perfectly. Like as a Netflix subscriber,
yes,
my wife and you see me all the time. I don't really play much at night. We're always watching something.
Absolutely,
we go every Friday to Netflix and be like, okay, what's new? Umbrella Academy. We'll power
outstanding show, by the way.
Fantastic. There's so many new shows. Sempre Bruja, which is always a witch, that was fantastic.
And you wonder why I call him
Boom. I don't know what that was, but no. Listen, here's the thing. I think gamers, as the most part, not everybody, but are creatures of habit. So what happens is, not only is Game Pass competing against lots of other things, but Game Pass is competing against huge AAA titles from third parties. So The Division 2 comes out, Sekiro comes out, Anthem comes out. Well, you know what? I think people would rather buy those games and play those big AAA games than that get Game Pass. And I think Game Pass has a good variety of games, nice games that probably go under the radar.
I think it's better
most gamers,
good,
dude. I'm not saying that, but I think in the mass appeal is those big AAA games, those big bangers. Obviously, that's what people want, right? And so that's what people kind of gravitate towards. Also, we're getting more and more subscriptions. Even myself, I'm shaking my head and trying to cut back on what things I subscribe to, because it's like Netflix, Hulu, Spotify.
At the end of the month, it's $150.
Yeah, so
everybody
it's
was like,
so
cut
much
the
stuff.
cord, and now we're just doing everything a la carte.
Yeah, so, and that's the way it's gonna be. That's the way it's gonna be with gaming too. You know, like eventually, like everybody wants a piece of that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that kind of plays out at the end of the day. But you know, like I said, I think Game Pass is good. Once they start getting, you know, their big major titles in there, I think it'll probably pick up even better. Will that affect sales down the line? I don't know. I think a good game is going to sell good, is going to sell well. I think if it's a game that people are suspect on, it's probably going to be something that they pick up a month of Game Pass for and try it out for themselves, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. Yeah.
But
either way, that's what Microsoft wants. It's not like that people paying for Game Pass to try stuff is what they don't want. You know, that's what they do want.
That's where I disagree. And I don't necessarily say I disagree with you, but I can't agree with the statement. That's what Microsoft wants. Microsoft certainly does not want you to stick around for 30 days. They want you there the whole
they want you on a monthly
year.
Well, yeah, that's like the optimal thing here. But guys, let's be real here. When we're talking about this, I think we're all in agreement that, you know, Xbox, they're putting out the games that they had left. You know what I'm saying? But their whole thing is they are gearing up for when they do drop the next series of hardware. You see Phil Spencer when he sees Google and talk about Stadia, like our E3 is going to be amazing. Why? Because they're going to be showing off stuff with Anaconda. They're going to be showing off games like Halo Infinite, which is coming with the next series of hardware. I think as long as their numbers are higher than they anticipated moving into their next series of hardware, they're absolutely fine. They're all about numbers. As long as their numbers are right around where they anticipated it, and then they will drop the hammer and you won't go anywhere without Game Pass in your face.
But still, that still doesn't answer how is it going to keep everyone there 12 months out of the year. You didn't answer it with the whole
Boom you know what, Knox? Boom somewhat had an answer, and we know that we've talked about this. Boom brought up a good point. They're set, and they've had some of their developers, which is what I think now. Okay, let's play the detective here. Okay, not only Boom gets to be a detective in real life. Okay, I'm going to pretend for a minute. Boom, listen, hear me out. What do you think about this? That may be why the initiative said they're not going to do one massive game. They're going to do a bunch of small, tinier games. You know why? They're a part of that 4 games, 1 game a quarter statistic.
Yeah, it's possible.
Right?
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, look, we just have to look at the facts here, right? The initiative they've been hiring like it's the end of the world. And there's just so much talent involved. There's no way that they could all be working on one project. It would be insane. You got to remember, you know, you take 10 of the most smartest people in the world and you put them in a room together, they're going to have disagreements because everyone's going to have a different way of thinking about things. Would be, I think that would be the same case at the initiative if they all were working on one particular project. I think what the initiative is really meant to do is to be the initiative to get more games into Game Pass, get more first-party titles out there. And because they're so talented, even though they're smaller titles, they're going to be incredible experiences.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think just because they're keeping the crew smaller, like they said, that we're going to come out. They're going to come out with smaller games. When you look at the talent list right there,
it's immense, dude. It's immense.
And those people, you know, when you're that talented, you can do things that ordinary people would take a long time or would take a bigger party, a bigger team to do, and they could do that themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not putting my eggs in that basket.
I don't know about that.
The thing is, you need smaller, easier to consume content that people want to play regularly. You need it in order for it to work. If not, people are just going to subscribe and get out. They're just going to play the game. Instead of pay 60, they're going to pay 10. That's all it is. And then when they get because seriously, right now, I'm not playing Gears. I love Gears, but I'm not playing Gears 4 anymore. So how good would it have been? I could have, even if I play it for 6 months, it's still $60. It's the same.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yo, Knox, I'm saying they set it up and they're fleshing it out. You see, like the third party that's going in there now, and I gotta say, even if you don't like the games, you got to admit, like there's some pretty awesome games in there, and they're fleshing it out and they're building it all up for what? Not for right now. They're happy that people are getting involved in it right now, whether it's spiking and then calming down and spiking and then calming down. They're happy with the numbers right now. But moving forward,
they need
they
an
are
MMO.
going to push the shit out of Game Pass.
They
man.
need a MMO, which is probably
Yes,
what they're gonna do with Halo Infinite. They're probably gonna make an MMO out of
Maybe
it, or
the
make a
Fable,
new
too.
MMO with Fable. Yep.
Yes.
Get 2 MMOs to keep you playing there.
Yes.
And then if they want, they could charge you for the content, or even put the content in there and just keep you playing. That's gonna keep people there. If you got a good MMO like The Division or something like Destiny, that's gonna keep people coming
back.
People,
Yeah.
people pay.
I hope
Well, you
they
know what
don't
it is?
make
It's-
Fable an MMO because they really messed that up with the last time they tried to do that that like online 3 versus 4 multiplayer
4
crap
versus
or whatever it
1,
was. Yeah,
shit like that.
horrible. Yeah,
Well, you know,
they
I
just
mean,
need to
it
do
looked
it. They
pretty.
just need
It
to
looked pretty, though.
reboot that series into something
No, yeah,
like recognizable but new.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
they
and they'll
need
be
to
fine.
make it
Yeah.
a
Gaming as a
full-fledged, a
service,
real
man.
MMO. You know,
Yeah, well, you know what?
Hey,
I'd like to
you know
see-
what they need to do? Let that shitty State of Decay developer make a zombie MMO, and that way it doesn't really take away from anything else. Because I like Halo as Halo, and I like I want Fable back as Fable, not as something completely different.
But
I mean, look, I mean, if
So let
you
somebody try something else with
crap.
that.
Check this
like,
out though. With
do
Halo,
new IP with an MMO, right? Like that.
Yep, yeah.
but I was
you know,
gonna say
like-
with Halo, if you look at Halo 5 and what they did with Halo 5, with having Warzone every single month coming out with new content,
Yes,
having a
yes.
microtransaction with ref packs and stuff like that, I can see them doing that more in Halo Infinite, and it would still keep people. They wouldn't people that didn't like pay the $60 for the game, but checked it out, and you got to admit, like the Halo 5 multiplayer is addicting. All right,
It is very. I'm not
it'll
even a big.
get you
Yeah.
there. It'll if your subscription runs out, you're like, oh shit, am I gonna pay 60 or am I gonna pay 10? Oh man, I'll just throw 10 on real quick, and it'll keep people going that way as well.
And listen, you know what? Shout out to Salty in the chat. He says something here that makes a lot of sense, and I agree with him. He says, y'all think everyone is keeps their Netflix subscriptions, no questions asked. People do this stuff all the time, sub on sub. I agree with Salt, okay? I agree with him. But where I question, I can't say I disagree because no one in the chat, nobody on the panel, Microsoft isn't giving us any direct numbers. Microsoft is so quick all the time, every month. Like, we're doing, oh my God, Game Pass number spiked. We've got so many people playing this, and 55,000 people set sail in Sea of Thieves, and that was just on a Tuesday at 4:00. And all these wacky numbers come out. They have been mum.
Yeah, but you
They
know
have
what?
been
But do you know why, Mooch? I don't think it's
Why?
because they don't have anything to talk about. I think that the numbers thing, announcing number, I think they're all going away from that. And here's my evidence. Okay, if you look at how often more so than not did Sony tout how much this game sold 19,000 or 19 million, and we just broke 100 million console. Even Sony themselves have really slowed down.
Right.
Oh, they actually all have. The only number we keep hearing or recurring every month is that the Switch is winning MPDs. Outside of that, we're really not hearing numbers.
Sony announced their 92.747 million, right? And once they hit 100, you're going to hear that too.
Yeah, I know. And they absolutely should do so. That's not a number you should be. You should hide. You should get on the top of the Empire State Building and yell that out so everyone can hear you. And and their marketing team will probably do that because they're that good. But with that said, Microsoft at this point, again, I'm looking at it from a business point of view. They are really, if you look at everything they're doing, and I hear your point. You make great sense about where are the numbers. I just think that they're over this generation.
Here's the thing, Boom. I really like where you're going with that. I do. I think you made a hell of a stance. Only thing I say to you is that I have to look at past trends. And when Sea of Thieves came out and when State of Decay 2 came out, Microsoft was blah, 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 about all the numbers.
Yeah, they were like, how many octopuses
and now,
you sold?
exactly.
They said unique players or whatever, 6 million on
whatever
this.
The numbers, that's them.
3 million on that. Well,
yeah.
You knew that State of Decay 2 they were never going to keep up with that because that game is just hot trash.
But they haven't said anything since. Forget Crackdown 3. They haven't said anything in a while about
it has been quite a bit. But
that's my point, Boom. Listen,
well, I think Sea of Thieves is doing better. I think Sea of Thieves is doing better than State of Decay, though. You know, I mean, obviously. It's
yeah,
just
that's
like,
a different conversation. But I agree. I agree with you. But that's. I'm not saying the state and
well,
how
here's
these
the
are
thing, right?
doing.
It's easy to talk because look, even though Sony, like, it makes it seem that way. Sony did come out and go, "Hey, Horizon Zero Dawn just passed 10 million.
Yeah, it's true.
Spider-Man passed 10 million.
Yep.
We're at 96 million consoles." So, like, so they still love to do that.
They're doing it.
I mean, they don't talk about PlayStation Now subs because they're probably relatively low. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff is always, and it probably did see a bit of a spike recently, but only because they started allowing people to download that stuff. Like, people don't want to stream that stuff. Right. Like, if that proves anything, if Game Pass has proven anything, is that people would rather download these things and play them. Even Netflix allows you to download stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, that, to me, it just seems like that's what people is easier on people. They'd rather be able to do that than that be forced to kind of stream it or whatever. So I think that they talk about what's going good. You don't talk about what's going bad. Like, that's just a life lesson. That's life.
Yeah,
We're not going to sit there. We're not going to go out there and go, "Hey, yeah, man, I just I got, I'm addicted to crack. My wife just left me. My dog just." You're going to be like, "Hey, man, I'm popping, man. I'm hustling."
Singing a country song.
I'm hustling. Yeah, exactly, man.
But
Nobody's talking about the bad stuff. That's
my point. Is whenever somebody brings up Game Pass on even this show, I'm not going to say on this show. Everyone's like, "Well, Game Pass is doing great," and everyone's like, "Oh yeah." And everybody's
I think it's doing good, but I don't think it's for
okay.
everybody. I don't think it's for everybody the way that a lot of people think it is. I think that there's a very select group that this is aimed at, and I think it was maybe it was even aimed at people to try to lure them back from PlayStation.
I'm just curious. Like, why don't we hear Xbox say it?
Think about this though, Mooch. Right? A lot of people that had 360s went to the PS4, right? And they want to entice them back. But why would you switch back when you have all your games on PS4 right now? And they're like, "Hey, we got all of our exclusives here for you. You can just play them. You don't even got to pay but $10 and you can." I think realistically, they're trying to entice people that way. They try to make it, college kids, that kind of stuff. For me, it doesn't make sense, but I do see a lot of value there for a lot of different people. And it is good for those smaller games where you can like get recognized a bit.
I think it's first of all, it's a talk show, folks. So I don't feel like doing 2.5 hours on Stadia. So I mean, my point is, I like to bring up different things. I think this is a good talking point. This is an interesting subject. Everyone just assumes.
Hey, next week nobody's going to be talking about Stadia, so don't worry.
I don't think that. I just think
it's Stadia. Okay,
Stadia, whatever.
I like
Arcadia.
I gave it a European spin. But I realistically, I think that Game Pass is doing okay. I think, like Salt said, people buy it in bulk. I bought it in bulk, but again, we're the hardcore. It's funny. We all said that Game Pass wouldn't do well with the hardcore. I think it's doing pretty damn well with the hardcore. I think it's the casual that hasn't caught on yet.
Well, I mean,
they haven't marketed it that
way.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. Thank you,
that
Xbox.
was going to be the next thing. Yes, that was going to
They
be my
are not marketing it to the casual market, in my personal opinion. I mean, my eyes are out there. I'm on the internet all day. I don't see.
They don't have anything.
I don't see it.
They don't, because they don't have anything to market to the casuals. That's what it is. What are you going to put in there that they're going to want to play? You gotta have something in there.
You gotta have something new. You have something fresh.
Now, listen, everybody's got to, and the Xbox is guilty of this more than anybody, right? So, what's funny about it is I told my good friends that all have families, this and that. I told them about Game Pass. I really thought they would jump on it, right? They're the casual. They buy 1-2 games a year, tops. Tops. They'll even go a year where they buy 0. That's how casual they are. I told them about it, and they were like, "Oh, okay, that sounds really cool." I followed up with them. And again, please, this is a small sample size. This means nothing. But I just went up to them and I'm like, I've known these guys for years. I'm like, "So how's Game Pass?" They're like, "Game who?" They don't even know. They forgot the conversation. So what I'm saying to you is, like, it's not that it's a bad deal. It's a great deal. But I don't think what they wanted was the casual market. I don't think the casual market is in tune with it. I think you're finding us buying it.
Yeah, but I have to agree with Noximus. He brings up a really good point. If you... right now, as it stands, we're talking about today's date.
Right.
Yeah, sure. They can push CFDs. We're getting the 1-year anniversary. And like I said, that's great
Absolutely.
for the people. And that's exciting because the game is still relevant and they're still supporting the shit out of it. It's really an entirely different game from when I played it to where it is now. And that's awesome.
Yes.
But Nox is really, I mean, again, if you had something this month, and then in 2 months you had something, Ninja Theory's game, and then 2 months after that you had Obsidian with an exclusive, and you just kept filling these every other month with something new. people the casuals
Right.
who don't buy a lot of games would be hearing the hardcore, their friends talk about, holy shit, they just added this to this game, to Game Pass.
Well,
Holy
now,
cow.
boom. If I may interject, please.
Yes.
I would like to call you to the stand again. So, boom. Here's the thing. You said Ninja Theory is going to come out with a game, this and that, blah, blah, blah. These are all kind of new IPs, which you got to do. You got to do.
You have to have
But
new IPs.
If you go out and say, hey, guys, just go out and ask your boom, I know you have casual gamer friends. I know you
plenty
do.
of them. Plenty
Go
of them.
and ask them. Just ask them next time you're doing it, please. And take the poll. Get at least 5 people and say, guys, do you think maybe you're going to, jump on the Game Pass as soon as Ninja Theory game come out? And they're like, Ninja Theory?
They don't even know who I'm talking about.
Is that a new Quentin Tarantino movie? Right? Nobody knows. They don't know what it is. And that's my point. So what I'm saying to you is I've actually found this is like Superman 2. I think at the end where he pushed on the glass and then in reverse happened to Gene Hackman. Okay?
Yeah.
Happened to Zod. I think that the fact of the matter is here, we thought that the hardcore wouldn't buy it. We bought it. And that's not what Microsoft wanted. We were buying the game. You heard crap? He bought Crackdown 3. He's one of the 8 people. He's here.
I think probably 10 people, but yeah. Hey, Sleepy Goblin brings up a good point. He says casuals aren't interested in playing games often, so they don't need 200 games.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said casuals aren't interested in playing games that often, so they don't need 200 games.
Yeah.
If Game Pass had their Call of Duty and their Madden, maybe.
That's what I was
That's a
going to
good
say.
point, but you know what?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's a good point, but that's
Madden in there,
Yeah, but Knox, here's why I have to dismiss that. I don't think that's a good point, and I'll tell you why. Okay? We all have stomachs that are probably even if your largest stomach is probably the size of your fist clenched, you still go to a buffet. You want as many things you can get in there, right? So I don't necessarily buy that. I think that I understand that. I don't think anybody walks into a buffet and says, "Boy, this is really confusing. I'm out."
Guys, here's the thing. When it comes to Game Pass,
it's not that, but you
do
go to the buffet and say, "All right, I want that and that and that." And if they don't have that at the buffet, they can have 100 different items there. But if they don't have what you want, you're not going to get anything from the buffet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
All right, check this out. All right, Game Pass. We're thinking in terms of the console, which is rightfully so. Everybody on the panel are console gamers as well. But what's going to happen is once you have the xCloud and game streaming, I think Microsoft thinks the casual market, people who will play games on their phones and stuff like that, like I really feel like they're going to have like this marketing push when it comes to Game Pass, and they're going to put it out there.
They are, Xbox. They are, and that's what scares me. That's what scares me. That's what I said. Because Microsoft is becoming a jack of all trades. If you're going to sit there and focus on games for the casual market, who's going to focus on games for the hardcore?
But they have a lot of hardcore stuff coming out, dude.
I think the accessibility is what caters to the casual, not necessarily the content, because there's such a wide. Hold on. But there's such a wide range of content in Game Pass already, from your smaller type games to mid-level to bangers. When you're looking at Gears and stuff like that, that I feel like there's enough of a variety that it's the accessibility that they're putting into place that is what they think is going to attract more of the casual market.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right. I see what you're saying. I think things like Halo Infinite and Gears of War 5 are going to make a big splash. But again,
for sure.
I just wish we could actually see all the numbers. It'd be fun because a lot of people, myself included, I know I'll even speak for Crap. I've heard him say it to me. He's going to buy Gears 5. He's going to buy Halo. Right?
Yeah.
I am too, Crap. I
got my fingers crossed that Microsoft comes out with some kind of collector's edition there. Hello.
Right,
yes,
right.
Hopefully they do, or even better yet, go crazy and have a custom console for Christ's sake.
No, they ain't gonna do that. That's crazy talk. Boom, come on, man.
Listen,
hey, they're gonna have one, right? They're gonna have one, but you got to retweet it to win one of two.
Yeah, one of two in the world. I know.
Yeah.
Again, we could talk about the custom stuff, to a blue in the face.
Right,
but I am gonna say this, and it'll be the last time I talk about custom consoles. If by some horrible chance that they don't take advantage of Gears of War 5 and give us a collector's edition, because I'll buy it, give me a special edition controller, I'll buy it, and give me a goddamn custom console that I can put up on my mantle and say, this is the shit. it's going to be such a missed
Boom,
opportunity.
boom. Two out of three ain't bad on that one because I can almost
I want it all, man.
You're gonna get a controller, and the reason why you're gonna get a controller, you saw on Inside Xbox, they had that little arm with the phone attached to a controller. That is why Design Lab was created. That is why every time you turn the corner, there's a sport red or a sport white or a see-through white and everything like that. It's because the controller is in their eyes. I'm not saying this is you guys on the panel or anybody in the chat, but in their eyes, that is the piece of equipment that you're gonna want to have to be like customized to your personality moving forward. All right,
well,
because if you're using xCloud and the console,
let's get to this real quick
because we gotta get our fanny packs for that though, dude. They gotta start selling them for the full figured gentlemen.
Well, they have a Snuggie. Why not a fanny pack? Right?
That's actually a decent point. Boom. Listen, CupHead is going to Switch, I believe, April 18th.
It's so weird.
Well, it's funny, Xbot. It's weird in the sense that possibly the first time we're seeing something that Microsoft has had under their umbrella. I just can't get away from Umbrella Academy. I just keep using every reference I can. But no, the point we're not used to seeing that, so that's weird. But I'll be honest with you. Anyone who's put in a decent amount of time, and I have with CupHead, would say, CupHead kind of feels at home on the Switch.
It does. It really does.
I think that's kind of called for it, Boom.
You know what? Here's the thing. I know it's a foreign concept, and we're going to see Stranger Things, not 3, because that's coming out in July.
July 4th, can't wait.
Yes, cannot wait. And Netflix exclusive, by the way.
You mean I can't watch that on Hulu? Fuck damn, that consumer unfriendly. That's not the way of the future, folks. Everything on everything. Everything on everything, or we riot. Come on.
I have to say though, you know why I'm excited for not so much that it's on the Switch. I'm excited for MDHR. They are a mom and pop, and when I say mom and pop, you want to talk about the I mean, for crying out loud, their brother and sister-in-laws worked on the game. They mortgaged their homes, right? We know the story. I'm sure that there were months that they had trouble putting food on the table. There's just no doubt about it to make this happen. And I think it sold over 3 million copies between Steam and the Xbox, and that's great. I got news for you, and I think we said it today on Breakfast with Boom. It would not remotely surprise me if they sell more on the Switch.
It's perfect for the Switch.
It really is. But you know what? What that does is having Microsoft publish this game on the Switch is a big deal, not just for Microsoft, because they're going to make some bucks on the deal, but it's going to allow MDHR, who's not purchased by Microsoft just yet. We don't know if that's going to happen. I think it is, and they should buy them, but it's going to allow for a CupHead 2 or whatever else they're going to do. Like someone had mentioned in the chat today,
Microsoft money would allow. I would have thought that was
already greenlit.
They probably already started on that.
I'm sure that they did, but just imagine 3 million. Let's just say for shits and giggles,
yes,
that they sell as much on the Switch. Because the one thing about the Switch audience is that I hate to say starving for content, but they're a loyal bunch and they buy games. That's why everybody
really do.
That's why everybody wants to put their games on the Switch, because the Switch consumer loves buying games for that console. And you take CupHead, you put it on there. Listen, I'm not saying it's going to sell 3 million copies in a week. I'm saying that end game sales,
it's going to do well.
It's going to sell 3 million copies, and I think it's going to sell better on the Switch than it did on Steam or Windows Store and the Xbox One.
When it comes down to it, I'm not even talking about if the game fits on the Switch, because we all know it was published by Microsoft, and I'm looking at this, and the rumor mill also says that Ori could be going to the Switch as well,
and Super Lucky's Tale.
And what I'm thinking is these are all like past second party deals, and published by Microsoft. The developer isn't first party, and I'm thinking that those kind of games, as long as the size kind of fits the Switch or whatnot,
right?
Those can all go to the Switch, but
they're also not graphically intensifying.
Well, yeah, but there's people saying like, "Oh, look at this! Like you're losing exclusives." And yes, they were second-party deals, but I don't think this is going to lead to first-party developers doing the same thing. So if the CupHead developers get purchased by Microsoft, if all of a sudden they become first party, then I wouldn't guarantee like a Cuphead 2 on anything but the Xbox platform with xCloud and everything.
Well, I was seeing that the rumor was Microsoft actually pushed this to happen. So I mean, I don't, it wouldn't surprise me. Like Microsoft
totally
is publishing it, right? So, it doesn't really surprise me. Same thing with Hellblade, right? Microsoft is publishing that, I believe, on the Switch.
Yes.
So, they own that IP now as well. So I just think that, they're into the business of making. You just have to accept them for what they are, I guess, or not. Like they're in the business of they're gonna have a console, but they also, sort of Steam-esque. They're going to put their stuff wherever they want, and people just got to kind of either deal with it or not.
That was my point with the multiple excuses. It's a Steam box.
Personally, though, as a console owner, give me what we had 18 months of it exclusively. I think that's more than enough.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
in a perfect world, give us 6 months to a year exclusivity
that's what I was
on Halo and all that stuff, and I think everybody would be much happier. You
that
still
was
are going
that
to sell
double
your
dipping
console.
I was talking about.
Yeah,
crap.
you still are going to sell your consoles. That way, you can still have a console seller, and then people on PC are still to get to play it at a later date. Anyway, to me, that makes the most business sense. I understand why Microsoft did it the way they did it because they're trying to alleviate the hate for themselves. But from a business standpoint, it really doesn't make sense to do it the way. Give console owners a little something, 6 months or whatever.
Hey,
I think that would have been smart.
My bad. Just a little off the subject. How do we not have over 100 thumbs up yet, man?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's
people?
Mooch's channel. That's
Welcome
why,
to the Mooch
man.
78's channel. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Hit that retweet. Also, subscribe.
All right, I just had to throw that in there, man.
I appreciate that, Xbot. Thank you. But guys,
actually, I don't think anybody really cares about the Cuphead thing. Not even me. Like 18 months or whatever. It's like, who really cares at this point? Same thing with Super Lucky Tail or Ori. If you wanted to play it, you could have played it. That's been years out. There's going to be Ori 2 this year.
Absolutely.
So.
That's why I think the same attitude is for like Detroit Become Human, all that going to PC.
Oh,
that's
that movie bundle.
Right?
Got you.
Not the movie game.
The movie bundle.
But I mean, I didn't see a problem with that. Listen, times have changed. What a drastic change from 2013 to 2019, right?
Big. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought, too, that like when we were sitting there in 2013 and people were like, boo, DRM, and the gaming media went off on Microsoft. And now everybody's standing up to glorious applause and lighting a match while Stadia was announced. And that's DRM to the nines. I mean, you see the problem here, folks? I mean, I thought it was great when Microsoft showed some of that tech in 2013. People like TV. Well, I don't know about you guys, but gamers and TV kind of go together like peas and carrots, wouldn't you say?
Well, if you go back and look at the Xbox 360 reveal, they were TV, entertainment, games, a bit of everything too. It's just people were ready to hate that Xbox reveal no matter what. And then, the fact that Microsoft weren't very clear with that, you had all these bumbling. It was like the Three Stooges up there. Nobody knew what the other person was talking about. You had one person saying 24-hour check-in. You had one saying every week or every 2 weeks, right? Like how that's not a good way to, you got to have people on the same page. And, Phil Harrison is a part of that. And he's finding that same problem now. Yeah. Like I've seen some of his interviews about Stadia, and he's all over the place with that too. So
I wouldn't have hired him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I mentioned this on Xbox Nation. This guy's last 4 things have been kind of failures. He was the guy up on stage talking about PS3, and he was like, when they kept on asking him questions about it, like it's so expensive and why is there no games and stuff, that was his answers. And then he was in charge he was up there for the Xbox One. He was running Lionhead Studios with that Fable game when that flopped and they closed down all their British studios but Rare. Yeah. And now he's running Stadia or whatever. So,
he's not necessarily what I call a fearless leader at this point. He's kind of unproven.
But he's got red shoes on, so.
Yeah, he had red shoes on. Thank God, Crab. Great point. I'm glad you pointed that out. Who else? 22 says, Mooch, in 2013, we weren't ready for DRM. In 2019, we are much closer to being prepared for it. I got to say, except for the fact that digital sales has really grown, which is what Microsoft was pushing right from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And then everybody kind of fell like lemmings in 2015. They're like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me follow that right into a pit of fire. And listen, guys, I love digital. That's not what I mean by that statement. It's so hard when you have Microsoft that tries to be innovative and everybody disses them and puts it down. And all of a sudden, any other company, anyway, like the Mad Box, right? Mad Box is going to do something crazy and everybody's like, I'll buy 3. But but the minute Microsoft says anything, it's like, you're crazy, Microsoft. Boycott those people. So I never understood that. How are we from 2013? And you can't even say 2019. 2013 to 2015, we got woke for like digital sales. Come on. Like, this is ridiculous. Microsoft was preaching that and doing the better thing for the consumer, saying you could share it with up to 10 family members, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
That
blah,
would have been great, man.
How great is that? Yeah. And now out of
saves
nowhere,
a lot of people a lot of bucks. That's for
right,
sure.
So there's a lot of things. What do you guys think, though? I just want to go real quick back to the not the CupHead situation, but what does this mean moving forward for Switch and Microsoft? A lot of people are really like coming around to the fact that these two companies have more coming down the pipe later on than just the simplistic games going over. Do you guys see any kind of negotiations, or no, this is just what it is, top level, and we'll leave it there?
Right now, I think it's too early to look super deep into anything. I see people on Twitter, it's like, yo, wouldn't it be great to have Mario on an Xbox and stuff like that? And I have to tell them, yo, calm down, slow your roll.
Yeah.
The brakes are on the left, all right? It's a good deal for everybody all around that, if you have a Switch for Nintendo, for Microsoft, and, in Crap's case, he's like 18 months, I don't even care. I just think it's way too early to look deeper into it and start like throwing out bangers and saying that they're going to go on, both platforms and stuff like that. Microsoft wants to promote their xCloud service as much as possible outside the realm of console and PC. You know what I'm saying? So maybe something in that line, moving on with the Switch, maybe the more powerful Switch that is rumored to be coming out at some point in time. But I wouldn't read too far into this right now. To be really honest.
What about something like Nintendo Classics going on Game Pass? Make a deal like that. Like I was saying, bring back the Xbox Live Arcade. Put Nintendo Classics on there, like the Classic Mini sold gangbusters, right? You put that on. That's
not a bad idea.
You'll have people subscribing to that. Microsoft.
I think it's not a bad idea, but I think what you guys aren't realizing is Microsoft is just a third party here, right? There's not really any kind of deals, and it's like a third party situation where Microsoft and that's just the way I look. I don't ever look at it as Microsoft is ever going to get anything in return for this. Microsoft gets users to add to their monthly active user list, and and then I guess money from people who buy the games. I mean, they're going to get their cut. So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't really see Nintendo is historically very protective of their IP.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, they don't even put it on their own consoles. You got to buy a secondary thing. Right. Like I just don't see them. It's like they have that's game preservation, my friends. They know how to preserve their own legacy and their history, and I love that about Nintendo. Also hate it about Nintendo.
Oh,
so.
They could be working on
Super Metroid with every generation of console.
Dude, I bought Mario Brothers 3. I brought Mario Brothers 3 at least 7 times. At least 7 times from them. So
Crap, good point. That what is it there? Super Mario Brothers Deluxe that's on Switch right now. I want that so bad. Where's WRC Cup when you need them?
I know WRC Cup, the Browns. Right? I'm thinking about getting a Baker Mayfield jersey, bro. Just hook me up with that Switch game, man, and I'm Baker Mayfield all the way.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, man, get my Baker hat and all the man. Let's do it.
Go ahead, Knox.
No, I'm saying Mooch.
Sorry, Bill. My apologies.
This is okay. Now when we look at this, the Nintendo Microsoft partnership, and that's really what it is at this point.
Yes.
They're working together. Everyone had thought originally, Game Pass automatic. We know that's been debunked numerous times, along with the with all of the Game Pass going anywhere except for tablets and stuff. And
when you thought about it, man, like the amount of because they could only stream the stuff, right? It would be very difficult because there's no third party provider.
Yes.
So
it would be an issue.
Yeah, and they tap out at 10 megabytes per second under their Wi-Fi, and right now to run xCloud, it's about at 10 according to them. So it wouldn't really make sense now anyway, but I wouldn't rule it out in the future. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, but what if it's not that? What if it's something on the technical side? What if it's Microsoft allowing them to use the Azure servers to bring talk and text, the Xbox Live functionality to the Switch? I mean, like I said, we talk games. We talk about Mario going to be in Halo, Halo going to be in Mario. But but what if it's something a little bit more?
Master Chief.
That'd be great. That would be awesome. I can actually see that. That'd be great. What if it's something like that? And that's actually what I think it is. I think it's more of a technical thing where they're lending not lending. They're selling them the technology in order to allow voice chat. I mean, it's one of the Achilles heels of the Switch, right?
No. Well, no, I just want to say, boom. I gotta lean with crap on this as like Microsoft just kind of being that
publisher.
third party in the room at the end of the day.
Okay.
Like I think we're trying to dig and trying to pull more out of this than I feel.
And you know what that is? That's us as Xbox fans looking for something out of the deal.
Yeah, we're fishing,
right?
Man.
We are like, and I get it, man. Like I was thinking that way too, but honestly, Phil's the one that wants to go out and kumbaya it up. I think Nintendo still always has their own ideas, and like Microsoft has actually, even before Phil put stuff, they were working on a Halo game for the DS, and then that fell through, and they ended up making that Metroid Prime Echoes game that's very Halo-esque. So yeah, I mean, yeah, they put a Viva Pinata game on the Game Boy, or might have been the DS.
It might have been
it might have been just a regular DS, but yeah, like that was after Microsoft owned Rare too, and they put a Conquer game on there too after they owned them. So if it's not something they directly look at as competition or whatever, that I don't think they have a problem with publishing that stuff. So it doesn't really
let me ask you a question. You did a video on it, and I mean, you definitely spun it in a positive way, and you should have, right? No, you did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Phil Spencer came out and did he responded to the Google reveal, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And here's the thing:
he didn't come out and respond. He didn't. His response leaked.
It leaked.
You could just tell that that they're just.
But why? What does this mean that now all of a sudden did Phil blow out some of his candles? Like why all of a sudden
they don't get along with Google.
They don't get along with Google. But I mean, why all of a sudden now he's like, we gotta get out the big guns? What happened to holding hands and playing games together?
You know why? Dude, we said this. I don't know how many months ago when everybody was talking about Xbox and Sony and Xbox, Xbox versus Sony. We're like, no, guys, you got to step back, and it's more like Microsoft versus Google and Microsoft versus Amazon. Now,
right?
Google is stepping into the ring, so Satya is looking down, kind of giving Phil a nudge, like, yo, it's time to go now. Like, because they hate each other.
But the problem I have with that is you can't paint the picture that gamers are friends with gamers and games are for gamers and gamers are with games. Like, you can't do all that nonsense and skipping around and lighting candles for 3 years. And then all of a sudden, one of the other big boys is like, we have games too. And they're like, now we're going to get our brass knuckles out. It's like, wait a minute, what happened?
They had to be nice, though. They had to be the altar boy. They had to switch the reputation.
I think they should Xbox. They should keep with the whole kumbaya thing if that's their shtick. Why all of a sudden change and be like wartime?
No, I agree.
Wait, what happened?
But I'm just saying how it is. Like when it comes down to it, they went kumbaya, and gamers just game. They play with other gamers, all that good stuff, and that was a part of their strategy to try to improve their public relations.
Right.
All right. So they've done that for a while, and when it comes down to it, they do see Sony in the gaming space, in the console space, but it's like Sony is just a little bit shorter, and they're looking over Sony's head.
Xbox,
Amazon, and Google, man.
Xbox, all these companies have a secret weapon, okay? Microsoft is kind of, at this point, Game Pass and Mixer, right? Stadia is going to be YouTube. Sony is first-party games. So you can go ahead and say whatever you want. Let me tell you something. There's Olive Garden, right? And they make a killing. Olive Garden is way bigger than your local mom and pop that's successful. But that mom and pop every Friday and Saturday and Thursday and probably Sunday night is packed. And sometimes you have to have a reservation 3, 4, 5 weeks out. Boom, you know that in the city.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My point is this. They don't make nearly the amount of money as Olive Garden, right? Where Microsoft's Olive Garden and Sony's probably the mom and pop.
They don't have nearly the mind share.
But you can't get that dish anywhere but that mom and pop.
But they also don't have nearly the mind share that Olive Garden has in that region as well. You might have.
Let me tell you something. Those breadsticks are overrated. I got news for you.
You're talking. What you're talking right now is basically you're talking hardcore and casual is what you're talking.
No, I'm talking about gamers.
The hardcore that love to get in and dine and they want that.
I'm talking about at the end of the day, it's about the games. And that's where we're at. Okay. So what you've got is Stadia telling you can link the game and spread the game and download the game. And xCloud is the same thing, right? Microsoft has a leg up on Stadia, in my opinion, on a multiple fronts. I think they have xCloud, which competes with 90% of Stadia, plus they have first party, which is massive, and they've been adding to it.
And plus, they're going to offer a console as well. What's up with that, Google?
Sony has the amazing first-party games. I mean, listen, if they hold off on the 4 games left that we know about, plus, like Crap said, next E3, not this E3, next E3, they're just going to do blurbs of God of War 2 and Spider-Man 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on top of Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us 2, Death Stranding. I mean, wow. Right?
Well,
I mean,
one of the
make no mistake, right? Like PlayStation and sorry, Xbox, but PlayStation is in a, like, people are all like, PlayStation's in the worst spot. No, PlayStation's in a really good spot. Coming off 100 plus million. Coming off 100 plus million. Well, no, coming off 100 plus million. Look, Mooch just echoed what I said a while ago, which is next when they announce their PS5, they're only going to have one. It's not going to be like 6 different versions and a discless version and this version. You know what I mean? So it's going to be less confusing for people. And they are going to announce the next Uncharted, just like they did this with the PS4, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be ready for a year. It could be ready
for Dawn 2 as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. They can announce games 3-4 years out because people buy into that.
God of War 2, Throwable X Part 2.
He's going to have 2 throwable axes, Mooch. He's got to. He's just got to.
Guys, with looking at Xbox, looking at Xbox, though, you got to remember when Phil kind of took his seat as like the head of Xbox, one of the first things he said was he had an issue with the dealings before time in terms of second-party deals. The money was going towards the second-party deals, the Sunset Overdrives, Remedy making Quantum Break, and he felt like they should have used that internally to expand their first party. So he was like, you know what? We're kind of like doing away with the second-party deal. All right, you see what they've done with acquiring studios. So yes, PlayStation right now is known as first party. That's not to say when we get the new hardware and everything and people start playing it, getting it in their hands and stuff, like over the first 33% of the next generation, it doesn't mean that isn't going to dwindle a little bit either. If Microsoft shows that they are putting out first-party games and they are quality titles that gamers are playing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well,
it's not a title that can just it's set in concrete and it's set in stone.
That's the one thing that needs to be driven home. And listen, I'm excited. Everybody on this panel is excited. A lot of the chat is excited, right? These new studios acquired, we should all be excited. However, we all, if somebody said to you, hey, everybody on the panel that's excited, everybody in the chat that's excited about these 7 new studios, right, or 6 new studios, do me a favor. Take out $100 or $1,000 of your own money and bet that it's going to do, top 3 or be great for Microsoft. Forget top 3, but do great for Microsoft. You'd be like, I'm not really going to bet my money on it. You know what I mean? Right?
You're damn right, Mooch.
But guess what, Knox? If I asked you to put $1,000 down on God of War 2, you might go ahead and put
2. I'll throw 2 G's. I'll throw 2 G's down.
That's right.
That's
so Knox, that's my argument to Xbot, who constantly, don't get me wrong, Xbot, thank you for fighting the good fight. Xbot is out there, okay? And he says it week in and week out that we should be excited for these games. And he's right. He's not wrong. But there is a layer of risk.
I won't say excited.
I
won't say excited because I can't be excited. I am attentive to the games. I'm paying attention.
I'll go as far as excited, but I don't blame you, Knox.
They have potential to be something good, but they need to prove to me that they can make something because I haven't seen.
Go ahead, Crap. What you say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's 100% right. Yeah, you're cutting out, Knox, but this generation in particular, Microsoft hasn't proven that they can put out something new that's good, right? Like they put a lot of money and advertising into Halo, Gears, and Forza, but outside of that, I can't think of much that they invested in at all. Much less really put out there as to be something great. Like I said, the last handful of games haven't been exactly, amazing.
And they know it too. That's why they haven't spent money advertising for these games, because they know first Gears, Forza, Halo are going to sell themselves. So that's that. And then these other games like State of Decay and Crackdown, they know that they're mediocre products. That doesn't mean that they're not.
Oh, yeah, Knox, you're cutting out a little bit. You're botting a bit.
All right, I'm gonna jump out and jump back in. But the point I'm trying to make here is that they just haven't been that AAA quality. They haven't.
Yeah, and now let me ask Officer Friendly, who's been very patient.
Friendly,
Senora Bombastic, boom.
Yes, sir.
I got news for you, boom. When you're done podcasting, you can make after-school specials and make a killing. Okay, that's how nice you are. I do want to say this much though, boom. Where are you? Like realistically, not you. Mr. Bombastic has his channel and doing podcasts. Where are you, the consumer, with Stadia? I mean, you are really invested in Xbox. You are really invested in Sony, and I know you have a Switch, right? You buy everything.
Yeah, I got 50 games for the Switch,
right? Okay, I mean, my God, I got to move closer to you. Hear me out, right? This is what I'm learning tonight.
My brother borrows them all as well. He does that.
He's a wise man, and he's actually not just a fan. He's also a member of the Mooch fan club.
Dude,
listen,
go with your question.
No, my question for you, Boom, is and I want to hear the story too, but where are you? I can't see you, even though you buy everything. I can't see you jumping in too far with Stadia, because it's a service where you're already going to have the games maybe in 2 or 3 different locations already.
Well, we have to start off with the almost outrageous, horribly designed controller. Okay?
God,
first of all, that has carpal tunnel written all over it.
I hope it comes with health insurance. Yes.
And I know that they've said you can use your other controllers, meaning that you could probably link your DualShock 4, which again is another controller I don't like, or the Xbox One, Elite controller, right? So you can do that. In regards to Stadia, first of all, they hired Jade Raymond, who I think is a great hire for them.
Yeah,
she's going to be in charge of the first part. I guess you can call it first party studio. A studio for them. And obviously, Amy Hennig was she was kind of hanging around, so we don't know. I mean, they could bring her in. She just opened up her own studio. It's a small one, but they could bring her in to make a smaller game. Because these are 2 women in gaming that I think were should have were horribly overlooked, not signing with Microsoft, but unless they tried and Google made a bigger offer, which is probably what wound up happening. In regards to the actual service, I'm going to be honest with you. I know it sounds crazy. I was actually quite disappointed that there wasn't a console. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I understand.
I thought we were going to see a console too.
Oh, there's no doubt. I thought it was going to be $399. That's what I thought, for $400, and you're going to get that horrible controller, and you can just throw it right in the garbage. But we didn't get it. We got a service. Now you say, well, what's the service fee? And, Crap was talking about something earlier, that he was going through the list of things that he already pays for.
Right.
I actually had to cut stuff down. I was paying YouTube Red, the music service for Amazon, for the book, so I could, have unlimited reads on, through Amazon. You have Netflix, you have this, I still pay for cable. And after it's all said and done, you're talking about maybe $200+ in subscriptions. What are they going to be charging for this thing? I'm going to be honest with you. Even if it plays seamless, I don't think I'm even going to bother with it. For me personally, as a diehard gamer, like you said, who is already invested, like if Sony gives me the ability, and it's highly unlikely that I would use it still, but if, let's say, for instance, God of War 2, I can play on my tablet. Would I really play on my tablet?
Nope.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing for now, in regards to the way Microsoft sets it up, they have the phone, you can put the phone in, you got the little device, it holds the phone.
Yeah.
Even then, as optimum as that is, you're using your Elite controller, you have the plastic hooked up to it, the screen's right in front of you. When are you really going to use that? Like, for instance, Knox, if he's doing a midnight and there's no one around and he's just sit in front of a desk, that's great. That could but 3 hours, no problem.
Yes.
But are you gonna? I'm on a plane. Great. Are you gonna sit on your couch with my 65-inch 4K TV and play that on a screen that's 3 inches? No, of course not.
No.
So-
and that's the thing. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people in the chat or listening later that are going to go, that's funny, Boom, because I play a lot of my games on a tablet or something that is very mobile. My thing is this, and I've said this to Crap, I've definitely taken my Switch on the road, right?
Me too. I have done that.
But
as
you know,
well.
here's
But
the
I can
thing,
only
a
do it
lot
in
of-
small spurts.
Yeah, not only that, Mooch, but you look at the stuff that Microsoft showed or that they showed off at GDC, right? With this, because they talked about xCloud and stuff. It's like they showed off shit like Dead Cells, right?
Right.
It was
Smaller
like these
games,
little,
yeah.
it was like these smaller games. So I kind of understand what they're doing, but at the same time, like I don't really know if people are like going to be all in on playing Witcher
you know what?
3 on a phone or a tablet or whatever either. You know what I mean? Like I think that's probably
yes.
wishful thinking, but that's the way that they believe it's going to be. That's where they're hedging their bets. So I understand it. Do I think it's going to be a thing? No, it all reminds me of On Live. Terribly, it reminds me of On Live. Like
terrible.
from years ago, it reminds me of that. So I mean, like the infrastructure's better, but I think that's probably how some people want it. But the way that I look at it is Microsoft and Sony don't ever want to be out of the hardware business per se, because it'd be super easy for these third parties just to forget about them as the middlemen and go through another thing. So if you always have that box, you're going to want third parties to utilize you.
Well,
Otherwise, they
Crap,
could just do their own thing.
Mooch, I just
let
want
me
to add
backtrack.
something real.
Go ahead.
I just want to add something real quick, and this is actually stealing something from Bot. I know he had to go do something with the kid, so he's probably not listening
I'm right here,
now.
brother.
Oh, okay. Bot kept saying something the last couple of weeks that really is the absolute. It rings truth as to why these companies are going in this direction, and it's because this new direction is not for us. It's for the 17 and 20, between the 17 and 23-year-olds who grew up playing their mom.
I
and
would say
dad's
10
phone.
to 30.
Yeah, I mean, you can add a little bit younger, but these kids are coming out of the womb and they're knowing how to use the iPhone. You understand?
I agree.
So when I say I'd rather sit in front of my 65-inch TV, the 10 through 30-year-old would be like, no, I'm okay with the phone. I'm okay with the iPad.
Here's what I'm noticing. I mean, I've got
what are
kids,
they playing
Xbox
on
got
there?
kids. You got your nephew, Boom, that stops over. Listen, my point being is this. Even though I completely agree with Xbot and you, kids definitely love their tablets. They love their tablets. They use them. They do game on them. However, they much rather, if you gave them a checklist or a multiple choice, where would you rather play said favorite game? They still would rather play on their TV.
Yeah, I mean,
but the tablet is definitely a viable option.
All right,
for them.
hold on,
Absolutely, more
Knox.
than us.
Just 1 second, because I have a 15-year-old. He goes to high school, right? And I know his like little crew of people that he hangs with.
Right.
And first off, I told them the possibility of Game Pass going to multiple devices. Now, what these guys do in school is they play games on their phones.
Why?
It's what they do. It's a high school
It's
thing.
school.
Yeah, I know, but dude, as long as my son's grades are good and he's not getting in trouble with the teachers and stuff, I'm like, all right.
Xbot, if he's
But what are
playing
they- but what are
CupHead
they
all
playing?
day, okay,
What are they
and he's getting
playing?
good grades, I got news for you. You've got
Fortnite,
yourself a
PUBG,
savant. This guy's
Fortnite,
going to be great.
PUBG.
Get him on Jeopardy.
But they
And-
download those games,
That's
But
what
check
I'm
this
saying.
out.
They're
But yeah,
playing
but
only
check-
those kind
You guys gotta let me finish, though, brother. Yo,
Let me finish. Go ahead, man.
Just let me finish,
or
man.
Gears.
Yeah,
They're-
But
they gotta-
see, they don't have that option yet, is what I'm saying.
But they're still
But-
not. They're
yo,
not
but
going to
they-
play
they-
those
they-
games
Hold
that
on,
way.
Knox, you're asking me what they're playing, and they're playing the highest tier of the games that are available to them right
But
now.
they're able to fully download those. What happens when, like, these schools are going to block the Google browsers and all that shit?
Phones
they're
come
gonna
with their own
sta- and they're-
internet anyway.
I get that, but in schools they're severely limited. So you're talking about having to possibly stream these things inside there. You don't think like people are going to figure out a way to sort of block this going forward as well? I mean,
see,
that seems
now
like
we're talking about the what ifs and what these people are going to do to combat
well,
it.
it
It has
I mean,
to
like
be an issue, but it has to be an issue for somebody to come up with a way to block it, though, right?
you can just,
It
I
has
mean,
to be an
you
issue first.
easily can just say, hey, no phones allowed in here. I mean, they
But
do
see-
sell. Hello?
Yeah, no, I
Oh.
got you, Knox. I got you, crap. But what Knox's argument is like, well, what are they playing? They are playing the highest possible developed game that they can play at the moment.
Yeah,
All
I mean, they're playing the battle royale stuff. I don't think everybody's going to be dying to go hop on Dead Cells instead.
But you don't think? Yeah, well, Dead Cells, I'm not too sure about, and I'm not
That's
even
what I'm
talking.
saying. They're
I'm not
playing
even
Minecraft.
They're playing stuff. Yeah, they're playing stuff that they can
Minecraft
jump in with
on
their
there.
friends with.
I'm not.
right
I'm
there.
not talking Google. I'm not talking the one great thing I got from Google with Stadia. Check this out. Is I feel finally some of the pressure that has been put on Xbox for talking about streaming
This
and
is true.
xCloud and stuff like that is now off their shoulders.
It is Xbox, but Xbox, you know, Xbox, you love taking a census amongst, you know, the kids, you know, and
the large demographic
right.
I have here.
But right, exactly. Xbox, you got to ask them. Okay, this is the key question. Ask your son there. Say, would you rather play said game, whether it be Fortnite, or ask him, you know, really ask him about God of War. You know, I'm sure he's played God of War. Say
he's not a fan of God of War.
Well, what game did he like on console?
On console, right now he's in Destiny 2.
Okay, ask him if he would like to play Destiny 2 on his phone or on his 50-inch television set.
But Mooch, that's the wrong.
I guarantee you. No,
hold on, Mooch. No,
exactly
can I finish? I will let you know why that's the wrong question right now. Because my son will say, "Why not both? I'll play it on my TV when I'm home." But when I am somewhere else,
well, yeah, I mean,
I will play it on my phone. So they are getting their use that way.
Yeah, I get it.
Getting their use.
I get that. But listen, but the thing, unfortunately, Xbox, not all your tests have a D, all of the above. Okay, not every question has that.
But
otherwise, we'd all get 100.
But that's what they're offering here. That's what, at least with Xbox, and you know, having the games natively on console is great.
Rob, listen,
that's what they're offering.
Rob, listen. Every time the kids are on the road or they're going over to their grandparents overnight or anything like that, they bring their tablets and they play Fortnite. You're 100% right. Where you're wrong is the minute they're home, if I say to my son, I'm taking the Xbox away, you can't play Fortnite on the TV, but you can go play on your phone, he'll be like, come on! Like, he does not want to play on the phone or the tablet over the big ass television.
Well, you know what? Because when you're playing on the tablets and the phones, you're playing against other people. It's like shitty. It's like it's worse. It's a worse experience.
Listen, it's a suitable substitute, but it's not. It doesn't take the place of the real thing. Listen, why is it everybody in the chat right now went to go see all the Marvel movies in the theater? Why?
Starting to on the big screen.
4 months,
starting to rethink that.
4 months after it comes out on the big screen, you can watch it on your phone. You watch it on a tablet. You can watch it on a Nutcracker. You can watch it wherever you want.
And they do that too. Okay, and they do it too.
But they go to the big screen.
Okay.
But hey, Xbox. Did these people also exist when Sony was allowing this to phones and things like that, and their Vita for years? Yeah,
no,
I mean,
it was only to Sony products. So
yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, if this
it
was
had to be a Sony Ericsson, which I would.
But you have to admit
that
there's not exactly. This isn't exactly a sure thing. It's far from a sure thing.
Well, see, what gets me here is how many companies are ready to go in on this. All right.
Yeah.
If it was one company or so, you know, I'd be like, you know, I see that it might not work. It might catch on. It might not catch on. When you have huge corporations and the majority of an industry going in that direction, they will pull out every stop to go in that direction.
Xbox, listen, I got news for you. And I really think my movie theater thing holds water, okay? And let me tell you why. You can watch all of these great movies. Let's just pick Avengers, okay? You can watch all the Avengers movies on your phone and your tablet. But all these Avengers movies and all these Marvel movies are making $1 billion at the big screen. You don't need to do that. You can wait and play it on your phone. My point being is this. I love that I can watch Avengers on my phone. I love that I can play Fortnite on my phone. However, I prefer, just like you did, and guess what? Ask your son if he wants to watch Endgame on a 4,000 square foot television set in the movie theater or his phone when it comes out that weekend.
I got you,
but the movie theater. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, the option is good, but we've got to come to reality here.
Your movie theater is flawed, brother, because you know why? You know why? Because that's the only place to see that at that point in time.
I'm just saying,
now,
streaming streaming isn't going to be isn't a very viable option though for a lot
Dude,
of
they're
these
not
people.
even
For some
expecting.
people,
They're
but
not.
I mean-
They're not expecting. And from the way I'm looking at this, they're not expecting for this to majorly catch on. All right, until after 5G is put out there, and what they're hoping right now, especially Xbox. I don't know.
Well,
with
guys,
Google.
we're making a left turn in the road here, which is fine. We can take the conversation that way. But now
Man,
we're
I heard
going
10
from,
years ago I'd have Google Fiber by now. I don't think there's Google Fiber in the
Well,
state.
That's true, crap. But there is let's just say hypothetically.
Well, you guys told me that companies wouldn't do just streaming gaming for
There's a
like years
crap,
down
there's
the
a-
road.
There's a
And we're
chance that
getting it this year. With
Well,
Google.
if your phone company gets 5G, crap, you're in
just
good
saying.
shape.
I think Google is going to be out of the gaming industry within 3 years.
Wow.
They have a tendency not to support things. One, first party studio, no console. Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah,
being
well, those are Google problems right there. I was really confused by them not coming out with a console either, because I'm deeming this new set of hardware as like the hardware of options. This is
that would have
where-
been a good announcement 15 years from now, I guess, but not right now.
Well, this is where you're going to have like all the crossroads of how you want to play your game, how you want to buy your game, and how you want to basically ingest your content. This next series coming up of hardware is going to have the most options. All right. And that's why I said this is going to be like that hardware or generation of options. And then they're going to look and see where people gravitate. You remember the beginning of this generation, Xbox got bashed for digital. Like having an always online digital Xbox got absolutely bashed for it. Do you think they would be bashed for that today? If this was starting a new generation and like
No, we saw it on.
So
on
you see what
Tuesday.
can happen in the course of a generation of how gamers as a community can go in different directions.
How come none of the gaming media wasn't asking Phil Harrison if they could play their physical discs on the
they were
Google
too busy
Stadia?
wishing they were wishing they could
Right.
wax his head real quick. Is what they were doing.
Exactly. Listen, I want to change subject slightly, guys. I want to go over to a situation here where PlayStation is doing their State of Play, which is their version of Inside Xbox, and also, their version of what Nintendo's directs have been. This seems to be the new hotness. I think that Nintendo Direct gives their fans very quick, to the point. This is what you're getting. Some of them are fire, some of them are not. I think Microsoft is a little bit too much of what the hell's going on. And I'm wondering if Sony's going to be more direct. I have a feeling they may be, but they may have a little bit more fluff in there, kind of like how Microsoft does. What do you guys think about? I'll start with Senora Bombastic, and then I want to go to Knox. Boom, what do you think about State of Play? I'm actually pretty excited about this.
Oh, I am. I'm going to tell you why. There's an upside and a downside to why I'm so excited that Sony announced this. There's a couple of really great reasons, okay? First of all, the masters of marketing that they are in this generation,
Right.
if they do what I am expecting them to do, they're going to be a 60-minute show. It's going to be tight. It's going to be filled with information.
Yeah.
They're going to sell hopes and dreams to the consumer watching it, and then they're going to move, and then you're going to be looking forward to the next episode. So that's the good part. Why I want it to be as good as I'm hoping it's going to be is because Microsoft is very reactionary, okay? And if Sony comes out there and does this State of Play, and it's a really good show, it's a solid, strong show, people are talking about it, people are excited, the fan base right now, the fan base is kind of in a bit of a disarray, only because there's so many shows have been canceled. They don't know what the company is doing. That's why this is a great time for them to do this, right? Paris Games Week, right? PSX canceled, Gamescom canceled, E3 2019 canceled. So right now we don't know. That's why Sean Layden was out doing all these interviews and talking with the press, because people want to hear about their favorite company, and this is a great time for them to come out with this. Why I think I'm going to now turn this over to Microsoft. We know that some of the shows and a good portion of the shows are like nails on chalkboard, right? We always like, my God, the edible brain, right?
A lot of cringe.
A lot of cringe. The Master Chief with the helmet and the fake jumpsuit delivering pizzas. Those are those cringeworthy things that they were like, oh my God, why are they doing this? Why? If Sony puts on this real tight show, which I think they're going to do, it's going to be professional, it's going to be fun, but it's going to be information, for the fans, Microsoft has to react, and they have to say, something, the locked in the room thing that we did, and the pizza delivery and the edible brains, we can't do that anymore because we look like idiots.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put on a more professional show.
I think, Boom, I think everything you said was spot on. I think realistically that we have to stop and say Microsoft doesn't necessarily always have their ear to the ground. They're not listening. They've got more money than God, but at the same time, they won't actually pick up the phone and pay a couple of bucks just to get somebody in there for production value.
They need a real producer in there that knows how to spin the bells and whistles.
God, listen, you guys don't understand. If I've said it and people misconstrued, I actually am a huge fan of Major Nelson, and I'll tell you why. The guy plays video games. The guy loves his job. And here's the thing you guys don't realize. He's not the guy that's just on Inside Xbox or the guy with the microphone at E3. This guy busts his hump for Microsoft.
He works hard, dude. There's no doubt about it.
And he gets an unparalleled amount of hate. I mean,
absolutely.
Just
However,
fact,
I also think at the same time, if I was to sit into a leadership role anywhere in Microsoft, I would say that Larry would have to get behind the camera and stop being in front of the camera. You have to sell the product, as we said, Boom, okay, to the youth side of gaming.
Well, it's interesting though. I think Sony's going to do a better job. Obviously, Sony not ingratiated in trying to shove political agendas and things down their throat. So
they're going to do.
They're going to have that for you. Yeah, it's going to be games, and that's one thing that I admire about Sony, man. I'm out here trying to buy games and a console. Don't serve me a side of this or a side of that with your bullshit, right? Just tell me about the games.
Yeah.
Tell me what's coming. Tell me why I should be excited about it. That's what I want, man. I could care less about them talking about a bunch of bullshit that I don't really care about, or political agendas and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't like that stuff mixed in with my everyday life. That's why I stopped using Facebook. I hate that, right? I'm not a very political person. I don't care about, causes are okay, but Jesus Christ, like there comes a point where it's just people trying to shove this shit down your throat. I want to play games, right? I don't want a sermon with that on why I should feel bad because I want to play as Marcus Phoenix, right?
Right.
Like, let me do my thing. So.
Yeah. No, I think that's a valid point. I mean, realistically, when it goes to you, when you're buying your jeans or you're buying your car or you're buying your house or you're buying anything else, realistically, you're there to buy that product. And I think that Microsoft needs to focus on their product. And I think that's one thing you're going to get. And, boom, somebody said it in the chat. I agree. You said 60 minutes. I almost think they should follow, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but most Nintendo Directs don't even go 60 minutes. I think you should go, 30 to 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Yeah.
30, 40 minutes. Get the info out. Stop the lallygagging. Stop the nonsense. Put the product out there. I am tuning in as a gamer to buy games.
Right.
That's what it is. And when I watch a Nintendo Direct, man, that's what I get. I get.
I don't even watch the Directs.
Game. They're great.
I know.
Here's
the thing, though. You don't even need to watch them. They're going to show you the trailers of everything they showed on their channel, broken down in little 2-minute increments.
Yeah, I do that on YouTube all the time.
That's the best way to do it, because that way you can skip through the crap that you don't care about, right? Oh, Pokemon this, Pokemon that. Who gives a shit? Right.
This is what Sony.
It's very true. I agree with that. I think that's true. Now, Knox, what do you think, Knox? I want to hear your opinion, because I know you've been extremely opinionistic, and you can go ahead and say it's just by chance, but you've been on CrossFire after different Inside Xboxes. Yeah. He has. But Knox, what do you think about the state of play coming from PlayStation?
This is the thing, right? Like you mentioned before. You
don't say
mentioned yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
I can't hear Knox.
Oh.
That's apparently that's a me problem.
All right. So everybody else can hear me.
I can't leave and come back in my own show.
He's talking right now.
Well, go ahead. You let him finish crap. You're gonna have to handle that when I can't hear him.
Yeah, I'll go out and come back in after this. But what I was going to say,
it's not that. It's Mooch. Mooch has the apparently Mooch accepted the beta.
I do. I have beta. Well, there is the beta. That's what it is.
You got to back out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
I didn't know I accepted it, but it's causing major issues.
Well, let Knox talk. Go ahead, Knox.
What I was going to say, this is where Mooch mentioned, getting people excited about their product. And this is where Sony excels because not only Sony can stay quiet and not say shit for a year and get people excited to hear something about products that they know already what they're going to. People know they're going to talk about The Last of Us 2, about Days Gone, about Ghost of Tsushima, about Death Stranding. Those are the things they're going to talk about at this thing. And we already know that because they talked about it before, but people could still get excited about waiting to see what they're going to do. With Microsoft, you're not excited about the products they're going to announce, and then the shows are terrible on top of that. You know what I mean? So you don't even care to see it. And with Sony's thing,
I watch every one of them, man.
You because you're a loyalist. You know what I mean? And I give props for that. I can't accept it. I love Microsoft. I love Xbox. It's my preferred platform of choice. But I'm gonna hold them accountable for their shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to you're calling out when they need to. I hear you.
I hold them accountable. I just feel like
but you always look for the silver lining. But and I commend you for that. That's cool. That's cool. But I can't do that. If they're not giving me what I want, I gotta hold them to task. Be like, where's the shit for me, brother? Where's the exclusive shit that I want to see? Where's the quality product that I want?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a rumor that Sony has a big second party exclusive AAA that they have yet to announce. And we also might get some release dates for some of the stuff that they have, and you know what I mean? So I'm excited because actually
Neo 2
Sony
is going to be announced on that show from what I hear.
I mean, they already.
Well, no, I mean the date for it. It's coming out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out this year. We just didn't know when.
Why'd the first one take 10 years and the second one only take 2?
I don't know, but I loved it, man. I will buy it. I will buy 2.
What game are we talking about?
They're talking about Neo.
Oh man, that's one of the games I want to play. Neo.
It's so good.
I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad we're talking about Sekiro here. And boom, I can't remember if it was on air or before the show. You said it reminds you of Neo.
Yes,
I said that a while back. It truly is From Software's version of Neo. And Neo, I thought, was a great game, but it was missing a couple of elements. And I think that From Software found those missing things. Like you said, the grappling hook. I also think the fact that, here's the other thing that's weird. There are parts of Dark Souls that you can run past your enemies. And there's some strategy to that. And they've implemented that to the nines in Sekiro. Now, myself personally, just so everybody knows, because I've been talking about it, I am waiting until tomorrow to play Sekiro because you really got to put your TLC into that. And it's been a long week. So I'm going to play some Division 2 tonight where I can just jam out with some friends. I know Gadang's in the chat. Shout out to Gadang. Shout out to Def Jam. Sully! By the way, everybody get your voicemails to Sully tonight, please. MC Show Live, little plug for MNC. We have got a great show this Sunday planned for you guys. Do get your voicemails in and try to win a prize. But my point being is that I am going to wait on this. Now, boom. What was your reasoning for waiting on it? I just had a long, long week. And by the time CrossFire's done, I really can't get immersed in that right now. I've got to feel that. I've got to get in the mood for it. And I'm not there on a Friday night.
The reason why I haven't gotten into it is because Division 2 is ruining my life in the best way possible. I cannot stop playing. It is literally one of my favorite games of this year so far. Even believe it or not, even more than Resident Evil 2, because they fixed everything wrong with the first one. If you weren't a fan, if you were like the guy that just came in and said, "Okay, where's the stuff to do?" There is so much stuff to do, and it's not like it's
challenging. Bro.
Yes,
it's challenging as hell.
Like
bro.
No joke, crap. I'm telling you right now. Okay,
it's so good.
There's a million question marks and side missions and control points and
public executions, people that are kidnapped. It's
and some of the best,
and then the looting system is everywhere. You can climb up sides of buildings and go into buildings.
You're almost like a puzzler, right? Like in some of these buildings that you have to find the way to get to the top, and it's almost like a platform. And you think, okay,
listen, boom, I'm going to go ahead and make you smile from ear to ear right now. Listen, folks, if you're out there looking right now, and don't get me wrong, there's amazing games like Sekiro and other things out there right now to play that are single player, so enjoy those too. But if you're looking at a game from now to probably even the end of the summer that's going to keep you and your friends active and busy, the Division, if you go, well, Mooch, I didn't get in on it day one. I feel like I kind of missed the ship. You didn't miss shit.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on in that game, and I have to say, I recommend that game immensely. It's that damn good. Crap, I know you downloaded it. I know you haven't gotten a chance to get to it. And by the way, no harm, no foul. This game's going to be around for quite some time, Crap, with the free DLC, etc. Yeah, I really recommend you give this a shot this weekend because I know Sekiro is not your bag, baby.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't care less about that game, to be honest with you. Just
right.
Me neither.
But I do think that,
here, it's got good scores, so I'm happy, people that are going to enjoy that because obviously what I eat doesn't make everybody else shit. So same thing goes for them, just honestly, it's just how it is. So I realized that, everybody likes different things. I like different things and other people like different things. Hey, more power to them. Just
but
definitely not my thing.
Your bag.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually hop into the division. I think my buddy Grave is about to get it and things like that. So I'm going to probably try that out this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing what all the hubbub's about because I like the first one, but I'm probably only interested in playing through the campaign or whatever.
Campaigns were over 30 hours long, dude.
Crap, it's not short. If you're just going to try to get to level, what is it? Boom, level 30?
Level 30
I just go with my buddy Snipes and just hide in the corner and let him do it, just.
Nah, but you're not
I'm
gonna want to do that.
I'm not gonna do that.
No, you're not gonna want to do that, bro. You're gonna want to enjoy.
Somebody said that to me. I can't remember who it was. A couple of great people that are fans of CrossFire, M&C show Crap. They've jumped in and they said, "Hey, Mooch, I see you're playing Division. I'm gonna jump in and play." And I'm like, "That's fine." So people have jumped in and played. And all of a sudden, I notice I go from I think I'm 11 or 12 right now, and I'll jump to like 17 or 18.
Yeah, they scale up to the hosts. Like if you come into my world,
it's still flawed though. Boom.
Yeah, no, it is, and they've addressed it. And I know exactly what you're talking about. See, the issue is the armor. What winds up happening is you do the damage of a 17 with your buddy who's an 18.
Well, you have the armor of the 11 or 12, and you're
getting
shot.
shredded, and it's coming in a patch where your armor is going to be brought up to the same level as your power.
It has to be.
Yeah, they because you'll go down in one shot.
Yep.
And that's a problem. It's a deterrent. I think in the old game, Boom, you're the professional here, not me. But in the old game, when your friends would join, nothing went up. Not the power nor the armor.
No, dude, you just were shit out of luck.
Right. Now here, if you have a great sniper gun, or you have some sort of what is that one? They have a couple of them. I don't think it's the M4.
Get the AUG 5. That is
AUG 5,
60 rounds. It's amazing, and it doesn't.
That is very good.
Yeah.
But if you get the one shooter or something from far away that you have a scope on, and you can sit back and you have that same level of hit with a 17, 18.
Yeah, you can pick them off. Like if you pick up the Paratrooper SVD, that's a great sniper rifle. You could be across the street, not even get involved into the combat, and you can just pick them off from there. If you do that, like I said, they addressed it. They talked about it on Twitter. They did it in State of the Game. That patch is coming sooner than later, but it is a little bit frustrating because, like I said, I've played with people who at the time were like my brother was higher than me, and I was just going down with one shot. It was annoying, but they are addressing it. And like I said, I mean, look, I am going to say this. Yes, it had a few issues. Some things still need to be addressed, but my God, they are really on top of this. Like they
really are.
They respond. And what I love about what Massive Entertainment is doing is they go right to social media and say, okay, here's the patch notes, we're aware of this. If you're still having a problem, DM them or send them a message over Twitter. And I've actually gotten messages from them, hey, because one of the biggest patches that came out, when you would deploy your gadgets, they would disappear.
That still happened to me the other night.
Oh,
Did they fix it, Boom?
Yeah, they fixed it, dude. Because my gadgets are. I mean, I used the turret and I used the drone.
Let's see here. We were on Friday night. It was Wednesday night. I threw out my turret 3 or 4 times,
and it disappeared. That patch came down.
Worse than that, it didn't disappear. It just didn't shoot. Didn't fire.
Oh well, they've addressed it. The guy, I've been playing it all day, and the patch is in. It's working. It's like I said, they are addressing it, especially with the armor issue where you're getting just shredded. But I got to tell you, man, the amount of stuff that you can do, and what's crazy is they have already said that the end game that they have currently set up.
I know people at the end game, they say it's
bigger
amazing.
than some actual game.
Crap, just so you know what he's talking about, this is kind of important for anybody who's listening in Crap's position right now. It's about to start the game. When you get to the end of the game, yes, you have to basically start the game over again for all practical purposes. Boom, correct me if I'm wrong. But I know people I've talked to jumped into my chat, They're like all new enemies, all new things to find.
A whole
it's
new faction.
Crazy, whole new faction. It's like all of a sudden the game morphs into a brand new game.
Yeah, the Black Tusk.
So that's kind of
no joke, dude. They're
that's
going to be vicious.
Yeah. So that being said, let me say this much, Crap. Here's something Crap's going to make, and now I'm going to make Crap smile. So I myself have PlayStation VR. A lot of people, now that I have this computer that can play video games sarcastically,
Yes,
right? People have been telling me, Mooch, you need to get Oculus, you need to get this, you need to get that.
Oculus, definitely, man.
Xbox, one of them. Also, Delirium Blades is in the chat. But what I was going to say to you was, a lot of times the family wants to play VR, and VR on the PSVR, anyways. I won't speak for Oculus. I don't know. Says that really you should be over 12 or 13 years of age. Well, so I follow those rules and guidelines, and I really don't let the kids use that. But Nintendo Labo, or Labo, if you will, has VR. And, I put this in the chat, pardon me, the topics, and I think a lot of people were kind of giggling on it in the panel. They were saying basically, get out of here, Mooch. You're not going to do this. I may go buy one of these because the kids can play it.
Yeah.
And I think it's something.
Are we sure they can, though?
Well, let me tell you something, Xbot. Every single ad shows kids playing it.
Kids, small kids, yeah.
So I think this is more like, and Boom, help me here because we're both in that same. What was that thing we used to put the slide in and turn it left?
The Viewmaster.
The Viewmaster.
Yeah.
This is
I
almost
had
like
20 of those.
Right? Xbox, I know we all know about that, but like, this is more like a Viewmaster, much, much more sophisticated, by the way, folks. Viewmaster for the kids to enjoy VR. What do you guys think? I'll start with Xbot now that he's back again with a Switch. Do you think you would buy this for the kids or no way?
Baby!
Yeah.
Dude, when it comes down to it, I just got news, not literally 3 minutes ago. Snaps has just pre-ordered the Labo VR. So we are gonna have that in the house. Not by my choosing, but when I look at this, I'm like, I think this is the smartest way that they're using their cardboard here. To be really honest with you,
I completely agree with you. I know that Mel is a Mooch maniac, so we are all about Mel doing that. Now Mel is hooking people up. Xbot, you're very lucky. I will say that much. But here's the thing: I do agree. Now, Crap, I know that you're a big fan too of VR, but I know this is not your bag. But can you see where this is kind of cool for like my situation, Xbox situation? Possibly Knox, and you know what? Even Boom with his nephew that comes over. That maybe this is something that
I would, if he asked for it, I'd buy it for him. Yeah,
I think it. Yeah, a lot of casuals and stuff like that will probably use that. It's not for me at all, but I could definitely see people like kind of trying it out, and it's kind of unfortunate because a lot of these casual experiences, people try it and they're not impressed. So they don't know what like a truer VR experience is, and they're not willing to give it a try. When like that's how my situation was,
right?
And when you actually get in there and you're Batman, it's just a fucking completely different story. That's all I can say. I'm Batman, and I was Batman, and it was amazing, and I was like, holy shit, this stuff's for real, and haven't looked back.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. And next time, if you could please do it in your Michael Keaton voice, I'd appreciate it. But I think this is great. I really do. I think this is a good thing for the kids. I think it's awesome.
Fun, dude. It's fun. I mean, that's at the end of the day, Mooch. Isn't that really what it's about? I mean,
it is.
No, it's about heavy story-driven narrative. And
no, you want those too, but
no,
you just you want silliness,
all you need, brother. That's all you need.
You want silliness in your life, and especially with the kids. I mean, listen, do we have a price point on this thing yet?
Yes, I did see them.
Yeah,
Boom.
$80.
$79.99. Yes.
Okay, so it's $80. I gotta be honest with you. We've all spent worse $80 in our lives. You know what I'm saying? I mean, on a terrible night out with so your a-hole friend, you can burn through $80, right? I mean, you get a big meal, you have a couple of drinks, it's $80, and you're disgusted. This thing, the Labo. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't buy any of the Labo stuff. My nephew didn't ask for it, but I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
If they offer some sort of a Mario experience with this thing, I think I'm going to have to jump in, feet first.
Listen. I'm not going to go out there and pay full price, but when this thing gets down to like $40,
and it will,
$50,
it'll be in Five Below in 2 weeks.
You know, it really will. You know, boom, it will. It will. And, you know, I want to bring up another point real quick here while we have some time left on the show. I said this when it came out. Of course, I was hit with a bit of like, Mooch, you don't know what you're talking about, Mooch. Get yourself straightened out. Okay? But I said that, you know, Apex Legends, which I love, by the way. I love Apex Legends. I really do. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like the more serious gamers version of Battle Royale.
Yes.
But realistically, what I said was everyone's like, kill Fortnite. Fortnite's dead. Look at the numbers, Mooch. Get your act together. Okay. Well, I've been paying attention as the weeks go on because I said, guys, it's the new hotness. Of course it's going to do well. But now Apex Legends has come out with their first their Battle Pass Season 1, and people are not happy with it. It's very bland. It's very blah.
Octane is actually a real cool character.
Octane's great. But the skins and things you earn through the Battle Pass, boom, are very not great.
Well,
okay?
Obviously they're going to have other ones. They probably should have thought about it a little bit better. If I may,
I've been looking and tracking over the week, especially after the Battle Pass came out. And time again, Fortnite is back on top. And I have my app open. Guys, I applaud and ask anybody, please, to open up their Twitch app on their phones or devices or TVs or consoles and take a look. Right now, Fortnite has 127,000 viewers to Apex's 49,000. And we were using this as a measure of success.
I mean, listen, Fortnite is going to be Fortnite. Mooch.
Well, now boom, please, if I may, okay? Because weeks ago, it was crazy.
Well, I didn't call you crazy.
No, you didn't. But a lot of people on the internet were like, "You're out of your mind, Mooch. Fortnite's
Brother,
dead.
they
Somebody grab a shovel."
They struck out with the season pass or the battle pass or whatever.
Yes, absolutely, Xbox.
They had a chance. They had a chance there,
did.
And it was a swing and a miss. And me being a New York Met fan, I am used to hearing that.
We had a good spring training. Let's take it easy on the Mets. But I will say this much. I agree. But all I'm saying is this. Listen, I think what happened was this. You had big-time Twitch streamers playing Fortnite for way too long. Way too long. That's fine. But realistically speaking, you've got Apex Legends comes out. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I really do. So don't take these words and misconstrue them. I love it. But Apex Legends, I had a feeling, was going to kind of run into the same problem that Black Ops 4 ran into.
Yeah, but it made 92 million in 30 days, though.
Yeah, they're not doing Battle Royale in the next Call of Duty per rumor.
Well, wait, we got two different things going on. Crap went down one path, but boom, you were saying something about 92 million. So
they made 92 million in 30 days. They had 50 million players in a third of the time that it took Fortnite. I mean, listen.
Well, Fortnite, wait, now, boom, no. Now let's be fair here, okay? Fortnite built that crowd first.
It absolutely did. Yes.
Now that the crowd exists and they love that genre, you have another game that comes out that's different. The only one that truly battled this game, and it took advantage of it, and it won. It did very well for a short period of time. Those numbers are a glitch in the Matrix, okay? So those numbers are going to go down from here.
I don't know, dude.
Well,
I mean,
boom,
maybe
I'm telling you right now, you're talking about 127,000, and Fortnite's Season 8 came out way before the Battle Pass a couple days ago.
Well, they actually gave it away free. They were giving it away free for a while because they were trying to steal people back from Apex Legends.
Well, guess what? Listen, everything with Apex Legends was free the first time it came out too. So,
I see what it is.
They're both playing the free game, right? All I'm saying is this, and I'm not boosting Fortnite over Apex. I would rather play Apex over Fortnite myself personally. But we've got to stop with the so-and-so's the killer of so-and-so. It doesn't.
But it had. Hold on.
It's not because Fortnite's beating it outright right now.
Mooch, it had the potential. It had everything going for it. And then they put out their battle pass.
This battle pass is awful.
If their battle pass was really something to be like, holy crap.
Yep.
Dude, there would be a fight on
I agree. I completely agree, Xbot. You're on point. I'm glad you said it and I didn't have to.
Nice.
I am.
They can bounce back at some point in time.
They can. Apex. Listen, by the way, let me say this. Apex is not going anywhere.
No.
Okay, but it's getting beat 127K 127,000 to 49,000. And this is after the games have set in. Okay? Because when everyone was like, Mooch, 315,000 people are playing Apex to 98,000 Fortnite. It's over. Grab a shovel, dig something 6 foot, and put Fortnite in it.
I still rather play PUBG though, brother.
Well, now that's a problem because there's about 3,500 people over there. But listen, I just had to make that point because I've been tracking it throughout, and I said that. If you guys, everyone's like, record Mooch. I said give it 30 to 60 days. Let's see what happens. And I still love Apex. I prefer Apex. Xbox prefers
Destiny.
Yeah, say it. Go ahead. You can say it. It's all good.
I'm sorry. God bless you. And Mel.
PUBG.
God bless you guys. That's great. But I mean, crap, you remember this crap. We've discussed it. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? I mean, people said that
Apex Legends
was going to kill Gears of War, and this is going to kill the Halo killers coming around the corner.
I think it's like we don't know. I mean, it had the best what do they say? The best launch in a free-to-play history.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's really hard to say that I haven't played it, so I don't.
But they also came into a crowded area that Fortnite created.
Well, PUBG
actually.
Yeah, I would much rather watch. I think probably a younger crowd keeps the.
I'd
Fortnite
rather watch
train
Apex.
rolling. I mean, I couldn't care less about building a house on Fortnite.
But Xbox,
that's super cheesy to me.
Crap. Here's the thing: Xbox uses this
That's
census
the
all the
casuals,
time.
though. That's the casuals.
You got to look at who's watching Twitch. That's generally a younger audience, and
For sure.
those folks would rather watch the building and dancing and cartoony aspect of. Plus, you've also got people like Ninja and Summit and these other guys that yes, they play other games, but they constantly go back to Fortnite. That's where their audience is. And
the kids are, baby.
And listen, Fortnite is going to get derailed eventually, guys. Let's just get that straight. It's going to get derailed. But for some reason, when I saw Apex, and it was funny because it was comical back in the day, but I think that Apex was just like a futuristic, a little bit more futuristic version of what Blackout was doing. And I said that a few times. Shout out to Lady Foxfire and Sir X-Man. What does Sir X-Man say? At least you know that Apex is going to be better supported than PUBG. Well, that's for certain, Sir X-Man. Absolutely. Guys, we've hit about the 9 o'clock mark. I want to say that thank you so much to everybody. Mooch wasn't even feeling that great, a little under the weather today, but the show must go on. Crack knows this more than anybody. We have that motto. I think we have 52 weeks in a year, and I got news for you folks. We try to put out at least 46 or 47 shows a year. That's for you guys. That's the dedication we try to do on these channels here. That being said, let me go in reverse order. And listen, I can't hear him. I want to say that it's an honor to have Knox here tonight. I wasn't able to hear him because when he came back in and out, I'm in the beta for YouTube's new, which I will back out of immediately, by the way. I didn't know that I even clicked on it. I must have clicked and agreed to it.
It
But
does
Knox,
it automatically. Then you have to switch back. It's kind of a pain in the
That
ass.
happened. That's why that ran into that issue on Xbox Nation before we went live. I wish I knew that then. I would have done it then. But nonetheless, let me know when Knox is done. Knox, let everybody know where they can find you, brother, because I can't hear you.
No doubt, Mooch, man. Thanks for having me on the show. It's always great to be on the panel with all these guys, man. You guys are awesome. So that's what's up. You can catch me on In Knox We Trust, which is right here on YouTube. A new episode of that is dropping soon, most likely either tomorrow or Sunday. And on the next podcast, Saturdays at 9, with my man Xbot 448 and another great panel of guys, bro. And like always, man, it was great, man. Thanks for having me, Mooch.
He's done. He's
Thank
done, Mooch.
you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Shout out to 9 Lives 210, who's been to the show. He's in the chat right now. He says, "Why do you talk in third person? 9 Lives, go back and watch some older shows. Catch up on the show. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't say, why are you yelling and talking about Mooch in the third person? It's called the show."
This is Mooch when he doesn't feel good, too. Holy shit.
It's great. Real quick, I want to do a shout out. I did it on Twitter. I want to do it live. Shout out to Enrique, who's here. He went out with his family for dinner. Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Enrique's been constantly writing me since Devil May Cry 5 came out. And he's like, Mooch, you've got to try this. I'm telling you, this is going to be your bag. It's great. You're going to dig it. And I go, I got a Moochin'. I got a Moochin'. There's too many games. So finally, just out of nowhere, he goes, Mooch, how you doing with that Moochin' thing? I go, it's really tough for some reason. Devil May Cry 5 has got some kind of a barrier around it. I can't get my Mooch senses in there. I was at work. I come back. I look at my phone. Gracious as all can get out. Thank you, Enrique. Shout out to Brap. Thank you. He gifted me Devil May Cry 5, and I will get to that. We have Sekiro this weekend, but I will get to Devil May Cry 5 as well. So shout out to Enrique. Thank you so much. I want to do that on the air, and I'm glad you were here for it, Enrique. Let me go to Xbot448, which I wish Knox I could have heard, but I'm sure he plugged something that he's doing tomorrow around 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, definitely, brother. Guys, first off, awesome show tonight. I had a lot of fun. As usual, having Knox, Crap, Mooch, Boom in here, and myself, you are definitely going to get strong opinions. I had a blast. We will be going live on my channel tomorrow, 7 p.m. with the usual Next Podcast crew. And I want to give a huge shout out to my brother Knox, who was the first to get his gameplay in. So thank you, brother.
Wow.
Yes. And we have gameplay going on as we're talking the gaming news, and you can vote for who had the best gameplay. So tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m.
That's awesome, Xbot. I'll be there. I know that. Guys, do check out Next Podcast. It's a great show. The energy is just electric. I mean, let me tell you something. They don't even have the yelling, and they still have the energy. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's true.
Right? It's very true. I love the show. I love it. And then I got Singing a Bombastic Boom, who's probably doing a podcast right now.
Yeah, I put you on mute and I do the other show.
That's outstanding. You're a talented man. Boom, let people know where they can find you, brother. Great night.
Yeah, it was a great show. A lot of opinions. A lot of games to talk about. Again, this is it's becoming a generation where the news really just doesn't stop. There's no real lulls, and there's always something to talk about. And if you're interested, listen, hit me up on Twitter. The DM's open to everyone. I love dealing with this community. I have lots of friends, and there's so many people that I know personally that we talk on the phone. I may never meet in real life, and I consider them family. So this community is amazing, and so check me out on Twitter at Mr. Boomstick XL. And of course, if you are looking for lots and lots of live content, I do 3 live shows weekly: Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Each show is so different than the other. You're always going to come and find something new and interesting that you like. Check out my channel, Double Barrel Gaming, on YouTube. Give me a sub, give me a like, or give me the finger. Whatever you guys want to do, it's fine. But you know what? I think you're gonna dig the channel. A lot of positivity, and we have fun when we have these shows. And listen, just enjoy gaming.
Yes, Boom. Yes. And let me tell everybody, listen, me and Boom have been talking about it and joking about it. I swear, sometime between now and Christmas, Boom, we have to make it happen.
Having coffee, but I'm making breakfast.
I want breakfast. I'm going to be sitting at his island. I'll be sitting there eating. Boom will be cooking. We'll be talking games. Okay. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be a true breakfast with Boom. I look forward to that day. I can't wait. Just because basically I'm hungry and I love food. You know that.
Yes.
That being said, I got my buddy, my co-host, MC Show. We've got Crap Gamer. Crap, thanks for a great show tonight, buddy. Where can people find you?
Crap Gamer Reviews. We'll see you later.
That's my man right there. Perfect timing. Love it. Guys, enjoy your Friday. Play Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice if you got a chance. Play Devil May Cry 5. Play Division 2. Play whatever you guys love.
Destiny 2. Got you.
And a big shout out to Yobi Dren, who just does great content on Twitter, and he's been doing podcast show-ins. Awesome dude. Great guy in the community. Check him out on Twitter. Guys, have a great night. We'll see you next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Good night.
Later.